When we think of brilliant scientists, names like Albert Einstein and Nikola Tesla immediately come to mind. They were giants in their fields, reshaping how we see the universe and electricity. But behind their genius, there were brilliant female scientists whose contributions are rarely talked about. History often praises the men, while the women fade into the background. This video aims to shine a light on some of the forgotten female scientists who played a role in the work and lives of Einstein and Tesla. Mileva Marić, Einstein's first wife and forgotten collaborator. Mileva Marić was Albert Einstein's first wife, but long before marriage, she was one of the few women studying physics and mathematics in Europe. She attended the Swiss Federal Polytechnic in Zurich and was in the same class as Einstein. Some historians and researchers believe that Mileva helped Einstein with his early work, especially during the time he published his famous papers in 1905, now known as his Annus Mirabilis, or Miracle Year. That year, Einstein published 4 groundbreaking papers, including the one on the theory of special relativity and E equals mc squared. There are letters between Einstein and Mileva that show they discuss physics deeply. In one of Einstein's letters, he even referred to our work on relative motion. This has led some to suggest that Mileva might have contributed ideas or helped with the mathematical calculations. Unfortunately, there is no solid proof because Mileva didn't publish any papers under her name. Also, divorce papers signed by Einstein promised Mileva the money he would receive if he won the Nobel Prize, something that has raised eyebrows. Was it compensation? Was it a sign of her early role? The truth may never be fully known, but her potential contribution deserves recognition. Lise Meitner, the real mind behind nuclear fission. Lise Meitner was not directly linked to Einstein or Tesla, but her story is an example of how brilliant women in science were overlooked. She worked in the same field as Einstein, nuclear physics, and co-discovered nuclear fission, the reaction that later led to the atomic bomb. Meitner, an Austrian physicist, worked with Otto Hahn for years. In 1938, Hahn performed the experiment that split the uranium atom, but it was Meitner, while in exile due to her Jewish background, who correctly interpreted the results. She worked out the math and explained the physics behind the discovery. However, when the 1944 Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded, only Hahn received the credit. Meitner was left out, despite her vital role. Even Einstein called her the German Marie Curie and was outraged at the injustice. Marie Curie, the pioneer who opened doors. Marie Curie is a household name today, but her journey also shows the struggles women in science faced. She discovered radioactivity and 2 new elements, polonium and radium, and was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. She is still the only person to win Nobel Prizes in 2 different sciences, physics and chemistry. While not directly tied to Einstein or Tesla's work, Curie and Einstein were close friends. In fact, Einstein admired her deeply and stood up for her when she faced public attacks during a scandal involving her private life. Curie's success helped break barriers for other women in science. Without her courage and brilliance, many female scientists today might still be in the shadows. Margaret Cheney, the biographer who rescued Tesla's image. While not a scientist herself, Margaret Cheney played a major role in reviving the world's interest in Nikola Tesla. Her biography, Tesla, Man Out of Time, published in 1981, brought Tesla's inventions and struggles back into public view. Cheney highlighted not only his brilliant work on AC, alternating current and wireless energy, but also how he was treated unfairly by the media and business world. Her research helped reestablish Tesla's place as one of the greatest inventors of all time. Thanks to Cheney, many today know Tesla as more than just the name of an electric car company. The women Tesla admired but never worked with. Unlike Einstein, Tesla didn't have a known female collaborator. In fact, he led a rather isolated life. He never married and is often quoted saying he believed women would become superior to men in the future due to their intellect. However, Tesla admired strong, intelligent women. He once praised women like Marie Curie and Helen Keller, calling them the hope of science and progress. Though he worked alone, his respect for women in science was clear. So why were these brilliant women forgotten or overlooked? Gender bias. For centuries, science was seen as a man's field. Women often weren't allowed to study, publish, or work in labs. Lack of documentation. In Mileva's case, there were few published records of her work. Most of what we know comes from personal letters. Cultural norms. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, women were expected to focus on home and family, not science. Why we must remember them. Science is not done in isolation. Behind every genius is a support system, sometimes unrecognized. Female scientists like Mileva Marić, Lise Meitner, and Marie Curie contributed greatly to the world of physics and beyond. Their work, influence, and even sacrifices helped shape the modern world. Recognizing them isn't just about fairness. It's also about truth. Science progresses through the ideas of many, not just the names we see in history books.